Hey there, YouTube. Hope you all had a good weekend out there. If you're out west, hope you're out in California, Nevada, some of those states. I hope you're safe from the hurricane. I was thinking that was just a tiny hurricane compared to the ones that we have around here, but then I looked at the topography out there, and even a small one can cause a lot of flooding. So if you're watching from there, hope you're safe. Anyhow, today I just thought I'd do a quick one to start the week and share one tip to improve your plant-based diet. Just one. Just one. This one is actually a pretty simple one. This one actually it really applies to any type of a diet, even if you're not eating a plant-based diet. There are some commonalities amongst some of the various diets that go beyond whether it is meat or not meat and that kind of thing. And the number one tip to improve your plant-based diet would be to get rid of the processed food. Get rid of that processed food. I tell you, I don't eat very much processed food, and also too, just use your common sense when it comes to the word processed. I've talked about processed food before, and some nuts try to get into, well, you know, if using the blender, that's technically processing it. Well, I'm like, okay, nerd, I'm not talking about technically, I'm talking about a common use term. So what I'm generally talking about is when you pick up a package, you look on the back and you check out those ingredients, and there's 30 or 40 of them with at least 10 words you can't pronounce or you don't know the definition of in there. Now, I am not a purist. I'm not one of those people that's like, oh my God, I'll eat cooked food. I'll eat something just for fun every once in a while. I go to a restaurant every once in a while. But, and there's things that I would like from time to time from the grocery store or certain stores that I see, but then I flip that package around and I just can't do it. Because in that processed food, look, some people switch over from the standard American diet to a vegan diet or plant-based diet, whatever you call it, and they think it's all just healthy because it's all vegan, it's all plant-based. And that's part of that marketing. The plant-based people aren't above employing that marketing as well. If you put just certain things on there, like as long as it's gluten-free and plant-based, those plant-based people will buy it. And I look at labels all the time. And one thing that I like, and I've had them before, but I haven't had one in a very long time, just can't bring myself to do it, is a pizza. Frozen pizza in particular. In fact, what I've seen from frozen pizzas is I don't know that I'll ever eat one of those ever again. If I'm going to splurge, if I'm going to eat something like that, I'm going to at least get it from a restaurant that has a good vegan pizza there, because, and I got some of the nutritional stuff, and this is just Daiya pizzas. The Daiya pizza has 1,200 calories. Now, when I look at something like that, I'm not worried about the calories. I wouldn't bat an eye at taking down 1,200 calories in one sitting, in one meal. Now, I don't do that every single meal, definitely, but that's not that unreasonable, the 1,200 calories. But here's where it gets you. And also, too, if you've seen some of these pizzas, they break them down. The nutritional information is broken down into a third, because a serving of that pizza is a third. But unless you are a very small person or a child, you're going to eat the pizza. You're going to eat the pizza. I've never not had a vegan pizza, a normal sized pizza that I don't eat. So for the whole pie, with 1,200 calories, that has 2,490 milligrams of sodium. It's always the sodium, but it also has 21 grams of saturated fat. And they sneak that saturated fat in everything. One thing that if you'll look on the back of almost all your vegan products, especially the ones, unless they're super healthy, there's a few exceptions out there. You're going to see palm oil, you're going to see coconut oil, or you're going to see something like coconut butter, another coconut product. You might ask, yes, coconut is a plant, but honestly, coconut is high in saturated fat. So even though I wouldn't say I ate a ton of it, I ate a lot more of it when I lived down in Costa Rica. And I'm not saying if I go back, I've got a couple of recipes that I just love with coconut. not saying I'd never eat coconut, but I'm very much, when I go back, I would limit my coconut eating. Another thing I like a lot, and I just wrote these down, I'm not going to give you the ingredients on everything and all that, but is the Dia mac and cheese. I had the Dia mac and cheese. I don't know if I've had it since I moved down here 2 years ago, but I had it a few times when I lived in the last location. Not quite as terrible as the pizza, but okay, if you eat the whole box, which you're going to pretty much eat the whole box of mac and cheese, you might not eat the whole box of mac and cheese, but I'm going to eat the whole box of mac and cheese. Whole box of mac and cheese has 880 calories, 11 grams of saturated fat, and 2,020 grams of sodium. And that is more sodium than anybody needs in probably 2 or 3 days. I forget really where that sweet spot is that Dr. Barnard talks about, but yeah, I just can't justify that. And just for the hell of it, I did go check out the Beyond Burger. Now the Beyond Burger has some strange looking ingredients in there, but its profile is actually and it does have coconut oil and coconut butter in it, but it's not, the profile for it with the sodium and the saturated fat is not as bad as the pizzas and the stuff. So I don't know, there's just something about that one that just doesn't really even interest me. Once again, not a fanatic. If I end up at some nice little vegan restaurant somewhere and somebody says, ooh, they got a great burger here, yeah, I'm going to probably eat it. But I doubt I'm ever going to be buying that in the grocery store. Now, I have seen a few snacks here and there, so that's what I'm saying. Just turn those labels around. The whole point of this is turn those labels around. Another one that I just didn't realize how much sodium was packed into is soups. You know, sometimes, especially when it's cold or when I'm not feeling good or whatever, I'll look in the store, I'll look in one of our stores, or I've probably looked in all of them, in Publix. Publix has a ton of soup. And there's a lot of soup in there that's not like labeled plant-based, but I look at the ingredients, no animal products in it. So boom, there it's good as far as being a plant-based product. But the sodium in soups is just, like I say, it's off the charts. And that's when I have to put it back, because I'm just like, especially for soup. Something more exciting, you might say, okay, for a one-time thing, I'll do this. But for soup, it's just soup. I like soup. So that just kind of pushes me. Anytime I want anything warm like that, like soup or chilies or whatever, when it starts getting colder, which I am looking forward to the fall, I make it myself, because then I can control the sodium content. But yeah, like I said, there's actually a lot of people out there, whether there's people that are following keto that don't eat plant-based. There are people that are following the carnivore, and I'm definitely not promoting that. But one thing that a lot of those people do is they're not eating processed food. And I'm sorry, I understand, and I'll finish up with this. There's vegans out there that like, well, I'm doing this for the animals. But if you can't sustain your health and you're not able to eat this diet, like, you're not going to be able to help the animals. And also too, does it have to be exclusive just because you're doing it for a purpose? And I do respect that when, you're strictly vegan for the animals. Is it hurting you to, pay a little attention to your nutrition? So you want to improve, get rid of that processed food. Anyhow, hope you guys enjoyed the video today. If you like it, please give me a thumbs up. And I'll see you here more this week, because I think I'm back to 100% now. So, peace.